So welcome to the Digital Marketing Collective podcast and video series. This is your one-stop shop for all things digital marketing. I'm your host, Bertie Monroe. I'm a seasoned digital marketer with over 18 years of experience within this sector. This podcast and video series is aimed at marketeers, entrepreneurs, and everybody and anyone that wants to learn more about digital marketing and the trends that are happening within the digital marketing realm. In this video series, in this podcast, I want to talk about how the search engine habits are changing for consumers right now. What's brought me onto this conversation is an article that was published by HubSpot recently, earlier this month in August. And they're talking about the way people are searching for things, and they're moving to social media to actually do their searching. So I found this quite interesting. And if you are watching on the video series, you get to see me actually show you the article live and talk about it. And you can see the numbers that are quite staggering to really understand. If you're on the podcast, it's not a problem. I've put the link below. You can open up the link. You can have a look at the link, but I'm going to read it for you. You see these numbers. So in the first point they talk about is 31% of consumers use social media to find their answers to the questions they've asked. That doesn't mean that the search engines are going away instantly. They'll still be there. They're still the dominant force, as they've pointed out. Now, I'd just like to say one caveat about this article that they've written is that they've used 600 people to really understand if this is really happening. Now, we don't know the demographics of that 600 people. I'm assuming they've made a level playing field and they've used a whole multitude of different demographics. It is quite interesting to hear that, but there are still more than 88% of people using search engines as their main way of finding information. So like I said, that's not going to be going away anytime soon. But what this actually does mean for you as the business or you as a marketeer is that the content you start putting on social media should now start be of more value and also be more text-based so that it can be found quicker and easier. So you need to start thinking about SEO not only on your website, but you should start thinking about SEO on your social posts. So social SEO is quite important. And it's something that's starting to evolve and move. The second point that they talk about is that 15% of consumers prefer to search on social media over search engines. Now, that is pretty staggering because I think that is really helping businesses that have e-com, have online courses. Doing that SEO correctly will really elevate your business into that sector. So one of the graphs that they talk about is they're showing the all generations, Gen Z, millennials, and Gen X, and then boomers. So naturally, Gen Z has got the biggest uptake of 31% of engagement on searching on social media. Millennials, 28%, Gen X, 18%, and then boomers, 3%. And then your all other generations is 15% of that. So it is quite interesting to actually see this information, and how it's presented is quite impressive. And their third point they talk about, they say that consumers say that search engines are still the best way of getting information. Now, I don't disagree with that. That is still 100% above board because the way you put your content on your website, the way you put your SEO in there, your domain authority, it's all been built in. It's years and years of extensive research that Google, Bing, and Yahoo have put into place to go, right, this is the algorithm and this is the way we want to serve up the content. So for example, if somebody's searching for something that not a brand new domain that has just been SEO or keyword stuffed is coming to page one. It is actually because of domain authority. What authority are they got on the content they're putting out there? So that's kind of stuff that really does make sense. I think if you want to use your social media as a search engine, you need to be very clear about what you're looking for, the type of information you're looking for, and the type of information you back. And you need to understand that you do need to do a bit of research when it comes to doing that. So the fourth point that they brought out is that 54% of consumers primarily use their phones to search. Now, that is a given. I think that is it's the best way of interacting with social media. I don't interact on my computer with Instagram. I don't use it with TikTok. I use my social media all on my phones. I think that is quite a normal understanding. I would have expected it to be a little bit higher. But as you can see in the graph that I'm showing here on the video, is that 80% of Gen Z are using their mobile device for that. But what this does, again, it does show you that even if they're going to use a search engine, they will still use their phone devices rather than a computer. I think a lot of people and a lot of consumers now are moving away from actually having computers. They're using a tablet and they're using a phone, unless you are at work and you're using a computer. I think it is imperative to really understand how your content is getting delivered and being brought out to users, whether it be on social media or whether it be on a search engine itself. I think it's imperative that you actually do your research, you do keyword research, you do not change those tactics in any way, shape, or form, and you actually build your domain authority the way that you should in order to get the results that you want. At the end of the day, you need to sell a product, or you need to get someone to come onto your website and do something, whether they're purchasing something, giving them information. They need to find that information. They need to find it quite quickly and effectively. And by doing a great work on your SEO and understanding your SEO, that is what will really change the game for you. I hope that you found this blog and video series informative. As per usual, all I ask is that you give me a subscribe. And if you've not done so, head over to dmcollective.co.uk/subscribe. Subscribe to our weekly newsletter. In there, I publish blogs. This will definitely become a blog, and I'll write a bit more about it because I think it's quite an interesting concept that is happening and the way that people are moving their trends forward. It's going to be quite interesting to see what's going to happen in the next 5 to 10 years with search engines and social media. Will they become one? We don't know yet. The future is still unwritten. So yeah, guys, I'll chat to you later. Cheers.